I believe it is he who should be apologising to the country as a whole on behalf of his government's woeful, absolute record £1.2 billion in prison building amount of allocation from the budget.
Oh dear. Now was our toxic Robert Jenrick really given a colossal roasting on prisons? Now, during Topicals on For Justice on the 5th of November 2024, our honest Bob was now demoted to Shadow Justice Secretary, where his first couple of questions didn't go according to plan.
But during that time, the only group whose popularity this Labour government's popularity has increased with is criminals. How many domestic abusers and sex offenders who were released under their early release scheme have gone on to reoffend, and would they like to apologise to the victims?
Well, Mr Speaker, I was going to congratulate the right honourable gentleman in his new role, but he seems to have a very short memory, and I believe it is he who should be apologising to the country as a whole on behalf of his government's woeful, absolute misabuse of our justice system and our prisons. Under the previous government's ECSL scheme, there was 0 exemptions that could protect the public. This government put in serious exemptions to prevent sex offenders from being released onto our streets, preventing those from serious violent crimes being released onto our streets, and I believe the right honourable gentleman should maybe have a bit of humility.
Robert Jenrick. Well, there were exemptions in the previous government scheme, but the key thing is we need to get on and build more prisons. Prison works, and we need to see more prisons being built. The last Conservative government built more prison places than any prior Labour government in living memory, but we clearly need to go further. What funding has the Lord Chancellor secured to build prisons over and above those that were secured by the previous government? And does she agree with her other junior minister that fewer people should be sent to prison?
Again, Mr Speaker, I think the right honourable gentleman forgets who was in power for the last 14 years and who failed to build any prison places. Just 500 extra prison places were built under his government's watch. This government has achieved a record £1.2 billion in prison building amount of allocation from the budget, and we will be going further. We are the party of law and order. I think the right honourable gentleman needs to look at his previous record.
Wow, that's quite the roasting. And she didn't hold back, did she? You cannot really disagree with a lot of what Alex Davies-Jones actually said, especially when it comes to the 14 years of, Tory rule and gruel. And I remember reading about the state of our courts and all that in the Secret Barristers books. Very eye-opening they were. But again, these Tories seem to have forgotten the reason why the election was called early. Because of the lack of prison spaces, wasn't it, if I remember rightly? And Artich didn't really want to deal with it, did he? Absolutely right about showing no humility. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. And also, I have noticed that I don't normally do this, but my sub seems to either flatline, go down, and go back up a little bit, but just flatline. And I have heard that people have said that they've been unsubscribed without them knowing, so just check that you're still subscribed. It does make all the difference, and also making content does take time, and seeing subs going down can be a little bit disheartening. And if you've unsubscribed because you think I'm an annoying prick, fair enough, it's your right, and I totally understand, my friend. My wife calls me far worse. Believe me, she does. But anyway, I shall just leave the video here, and I shall bid you farewell and take care, my friends.